Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the Cold War. So what is Cold War? What we understand the term Cold War? What is the meaning of Cold War? So today in this lecture we are going to know and understand the answer of all these questions. So when we are talking about the Cold War, we can say that it is not a hot war. Cold War is an environment where the hot war can take place any time. The end of the Second World War is a landmark in contemporary world politics. In 1945, the Allied forces led by the US and Soviet Union, Britain, and France defeated the Axis power, which was led by Germany, Italy, Japan, ended the Second World War 1945. In this war, almost all the major powers of the world were involved. It was spread out to regions outside the Europe. Southeast Asia, China, Burma, and parts of India's northeast. The war devastated the world massively. The world lost human lives and property massively. The end of the Second World War was also the beginning of the Cold War. The Second World War ended when the United States dropped two atom bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, causing Japan to surrender. The critics of US decision to drop the bombs have argued that the US knew that Japan was almost about to surrender and that it was unnecessary to drop the bombs. They suggested that the US action was intended to stop the Soviet Union from making military and political gains in Asia and elsewhere, and so Moscow that the United States was supreme. So US supporters have argued that the dropping of the atomic bomb was necessary to end the war quickly and to stop further loss of American and Allied lives. Whatever the motives, the consequences of the end of the Second World War was the rise of two new powers on the global stage. After the end of the Second World War, the United States and the Soviet Union became the greatest power in the world with the ability to influence events anywhere on the earth anytime. So the Cold War emerged with the understanding that the destruction caused by the use of atom bombs is too costly for any country to bear. This logic was very simple, but it was very powerful. When two rival powers are in possession of nuclear weapons capable of inflicting death and destruction unacceptable to each other. In spite of provocations, neither side would want to risk war since no political gains would justify the destruction of their society. In the event of a nuclear war, both sides will be so badly harmed that it will be impossible to declare one side or the other as the winner, even if one of them tries to attack or disable the nuclear weapons of its rival. The other would still be left with enough nuclear weapons to inflict unexpected destruction. This is called the logic of deterrence. Both sides have the ability to retaliate against an attack and to cause so much destruction that neither can afford to initiate war. Thus, the Cold War, in spite of being an intense form of rivalry between great powers, remained a cold and not hot war or shooting war. So it always remained Cold War. It never became hot war. The two superpowers and the countries in the rival blocs led by the superpowers were expected to behave as rational actor and responsible actor. They were to be rational and responsible in the risk in fighting wars that might involve the two superpowers. When two superpowers and the blocs led by them are in a deterrence relationship, fighting wars will be massively destructive. So responsibility, we can say the responsibility means being restrained and avoiding the risk of another world war. in this sense, the Cold War managed to ensure human survival. The Cold War managed to save the human lives. Uh, so it was the Cold War, which we can also say that the Cold War was an ideological war. It was the war between two power blocks, two uh, ideological bloc. One is capitalist bloc, second is Soviet Union bloc. So Cold War. It never became a hot war. So we can say Cold War is an environment where a hot war can take place anytime. Thank you.